Welcome to Formula One.
Welcome to Joe Average Racer, and today we're at Japan, round 14, on the heels of our worst race ever in a career mode race, DNF. And we'll see if we can't recover from that today, that we really took a hit in the standings, and it just made it harder with these remaining races to get back into the constructor standings and try to race. So here we go.
Welcome to Suzuka in Japan, where today's practice session is about to begin on this figure-of-8 circuit. The Suzuka track never disappoints, and that's probably why it's so loved by drivers and fans alike. As we approach the end of the season, the teams will be keeping a close eye on the constructors' table. Every point the drivers can get is really important for the teams at this stage.
Yes, definitely. Every position you climb in the championship has a financial gain come the end of the season. So the difference between finishing third or fourth is well worth fighting for right up until the last race.
One of the more intimidating corners on any Formula One track is the legendary 130R. Whilst unusual, the name actually comes from the original design of the corner, a 130-metre radius turn starting just past the track crossover.
Well, I guess it could be suggested that with Rosberg doing 13 laps, that he's having trouble getting up to speed. He's 1.2 seconds back. I only ran 3 laps and seemed to be doing pretty well. I know Hamilton was running his last lap there and was being held up by another driver, so he may have been able to go a little bit faster, but that's practice for you right there.
Sebastian Vettel is in P1 for today's practice session, and it's no surprise considering the hard work the team have been putting in so far this weekend.
And look at Rosberg. He put on some options. I don't know if he was wanted to get up there, and he was running primes earlier, but right at the very end there, he's right back up in second, but he had to put on options to do it. So that makes me pretty happy with my time. I really didn't run that many laps, only 3, so we'll see where we go in qualifying.
Welcome to Japan and the impressive Suzuka track for today's qualifying session, where we should be underway shortly. I'm expecting a strong showing here today from the Red Bull team. They really love this classic track and have had so much success at Suzuka over the years.
I think this could be a showdown between the Mercedes and Red Bull today.
Pretty good for weather here. It looks like it's going to be sunny today, so we're happy about that.
Could be too much for the Milton Keynes-based team.
All right, flying lap it is, and we'll see how we do. I'm not going to put very many laps on these tires. I'm probably going to try and get it with just 1 lap, and then switch tires and do 1 more lap. Ricardo.
Really bad state. We need you back in the pits this lap.
got the fastest there. And we got cars in front of us, so I'm just going to lower up and get her back to the garage. Okay, so we got 9:07 left. Track's starting to clear out. And I'm only 12,000ths above Hamilton, so I'm going to go out and rock one more, I think. We'll pick the better of the two that we've had here. So 10%, 18, 8%, 18. So let's do these here and go out and run one more setup. We'll see who's out on track. Nobody, that's good. All right, I'm done. Three minutes left. Cars are getting back out on the track. It's either going to be good enough or it's not. We'll accelerate time and see where we end up. We have gotten 5 poles in a row. So that's an interesting little tidbit that I didn't realize until I went back and started looking. And it looks like we got another.
What a great qualifying performance there by Sebastian Vettel. It's going to put him in a really strong position for the race tomorrow.
Definitely. He really has pushed himself and the car to the limits today, and he was duly rewarded. It was such a wonderful result.
Welcome to one of this year's most challenging races, where the combination of high speed and complex corners makes this one of the drivers' favourite tracks. It's time for the Japanese Grand Prix. An exceptional lap time yesterday saw Sebastian Vettel take pole. Can anyone touch him this weekend, or will it be a one-sided contest?
He'll want to stay out of trouble over the first few laps, but he'll be determined not to let any cars past him. If he can maintain that position once everything's settled down...
I think that's what they said in Singapore too. You'll want to be careful the first few laps, and then I ended up DNFing the damn car.
Going into today's race.
Sauber's 11 and 12.
The rest of the field, as long as he doesn't hit any reliability issues with his Mercedes.
McLaren Honda in the top 10 again.
On his day, his pace has been second to none at times. He just
I don't quite understand that, because they shouldn't have ran that fast if it's actually rated like the real drivers are. Okay, so they get you going 6 laps on your options in 6 laps. And then you're going 9 laps on those primes. So I may need to try and stretch those options, one of those sets, a lap or two. We'll have to see. Standard start. I don't want to run into the back of him through here. Pinch him off there a little bit. He didn't have none of it. Maybe I can get him breaking into this corner here. He was going to get past in this straight anyway. what you get for sticking your nose in that high-speed corner. Tires are already starting to show some decent wear. Losing traction in those corners now because of my tires. Okay, we're pitting lap 6 here, coming into lap 7. We're hoping to pit on 13, get 6 out of this first set that we qualified on, and get 7 out of the next 2 sets, and then that'll help us at the end of the race.
You have 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining in the strategy. Is looking positive so far. We think there's plenty of life left in these for the moment.
Okay, we got some other strategies going on here because we pitted coming to lap 7 and we're working on 8 here, and I'm in 3rd place. Raikkonen's in 5th. And I'm guessing Rosberg's in 1st. Well, Rosberg and Bottas have elected to do one less stop, I believe. My hope is that they can end up racing each other and pull each other away.
For your next stop. The window opens in 2 laps time. 2 laps.
Raikkonen's up to 3rd. Almost missed the damn pits. All right, another set of options. Go up to lap 20. And then change to our primes, and away we go. We'll see how we end up here. Man, this makes me nervous not knowing.
1 stop left in our strategy.
Glad I got ahead of that car. Guess that's Massa behind me. See what kind of a gap we're running here to Rosberg. 13 seconds. It's probably not good, because we both have one more stop to make.
In terms of fuel, 15 kilos of fuel remain.
All right, final stop. Putting on the primes. We got to come out ahead of Rosberg and beat him to the start finish on lap 27. The good news is we've only got to run 7 laps on these prime tires, and that's what we've been running on our options, so we should be able to run about as hard as we can.
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And that's Rosberg right behind me. Nice. fuck out of the way, Stevens. Rosberg's getting stuck behind Maldonado. And why do I always catch a lap car right in this corner here? I'm just cutting that corner because I ain't slowing down for these guys. I end up losing the race if I end up doing that. It's not giving me a corner cutting, so I'm only doing it when I need to get by the lap cars. All right, all we got to do now is just keep an eye on our fuel and drive a clean race.
Okay, there's 10 kilos of fuel left. 10 kilos of fuel.
Lap the top 10. 10th position. That's pretty freaking amazing. Viva la Ferrari! Take it. Nice comeback. After that disaster in Singapore. This win's for Corrington Wheeler, who was stationed in Japan over the last 3 years in the Air Force. Welcome home, man. He just came home about 3 weeks ago.
It was a brilliant result for Ferrari today. They'll have answered a few critics with that performance.
It was a fantastic performance and one that they should be very proud of. Every part of the team pulled together to achieve today's result.
There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
Alrighty, so we get the win. Kimi gets third, which is awesome because he moves up. He started fourth. Hamilton started second and goes down to sixth. So they get, meaning Mercedes gets a second and a sixth and picks up, 18 and 8. That's 26 points. So we mashed them by 14. So that's a nice comeback today. Other items of note. Ricardo finished 7th, so we stand to pull away from him. Alonso started in the top 10 and finishes there. Good for the McLaren team there. Williams finishes 4th and 5th, so they're about where they were. Nasser and Saints get penalties. And everyone finishes the race. So we hold our own. We stay in 4th place, but we're catching Hamilton. We gained some serious points on him today, so he's only 7 ahead of us. And then Kimi's only 8 ahead of us, so it's that Rosberg fellow. That's the one we need to beat. And we pretty much hold our second, which everybody, watching here knew that was probably going to happen if you watched the pre-show. So not too bad of a start. It looks like Nico took a look there at the start of the race. Run a little bit wide there, but Hamilton just was kind of holding us up here a little bit. And I just decided to take it easy after Singapore and being too aggressive on lap 1. So we pass him a little bit later here in the thing, but overall it was a good race today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Joe Average Racer. Stay tuned for another episode coming soon, and keep on gaming. Go Tigers!